Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, by J.R.R. Tolkien. Genre, high fantasy. For English 12, Creative Expressions, Bowen. Book talk by Aidan Stock. In J.R.R. Tolkien's final novel, The Return of the King, it delivers a lot of hope, sacrifice, and the arrival of destiny. As the shadow of Sauron's reign spreads across Middle-earth, the fate of the world rests on a fragile thread, carried by two small hobbits, Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, who trudge ever closer to the fiery chasm of Mount Doom, with the treacherous Gollum as their guide. Their path is one of deception, despair, and unwavering courage, and almost a wicked end, if not for Samwise Gamgee. Ne'er a more lovable, trustworthy, and honorable companion than he, for it is he who spoke the long-cherished words, I can't carry the burden, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you," during the pivotal moment atop Mount Doom. Then, whilst in the mountain of flames, he cried, "Master!" Then Frodo stirred and spoke with a clear voice, indeed, with a clearer voice and more powerful than Sam had ever heard him use. And it rose above the throb and turmoil of Mount Doom, ringing in the roof and walls. "I have come," he said, "but I do not choose now to do what I have come to do. I will not do this deed. The ring is mine." And suddenly, as he set it on his finger, he vanished from Sam's sight. Sam gasped, but he had no chance to cry out, for at that moment many things happened. Something struck Sam violently in the back. His legs were knocked from under him, and he was flung aside, striking his head against the stony floor, as a dark shape sprang over him. But let us not get ahead of ourselves, for Mr. Gamgee was not always the bravest soul, at least not to the naked eye, because after all, he started in the Shire, not daring to travel past the corn and Farmer Maggot's crop. Hobbits, naturally, had a more precautious nature than most, because he, like many other hobbits, were taught a content and cozy style of living, which consisted of full bellies, lots of merriment, buttloads of beer, ale, and the like, and long bottom leaf, the finest pipe weed in South Farthing. Despite all of this, Sweet Sam still endured all the challenges that Middle-earth threw at him, and became probably the most honorable hobbit by simply being a good friend. Far to the west, the kingdoms of men prepared their final stand. Aragorn, heir to the throne of Gondor, must rise from wandering ranger to long-lost king, summoning long-forgotten allies and confronting his deepest fears to unite a divided world. Beside him, Gandalf the White, the noble warriors of Rohan, and the fiercely loyal Fellowship rally to wage a desperate battle at the gates of Mordor. But not for victory, but to buy Frodo precious time. After reading more and more of this ornately scribed book, I can say without a doubt that no one would have done justice to the intricacies of witty comebacks, heartfelt words, and petty squabbles that these characters sometimes dabble in, as Tolkien has. You have in this book 4 hobbits, 2 men, a dwarf, an elf, and a wizard, listed accordingly. Frodo Baggins, 53, Samwise Gamgee, 41, Meriadoc Brandybuck, 39, and Peregrine Took, 31. Aragorn Elessar, 87, Boromir Denethor, 41, Gimli O'Gloin, 262, Legolas Greenleaf, 2,931, and Gandalf essentially as old as the material world. Many complications with different aging processes among these races meant that the main characters were not necessarily as old as they would be if they were human. The hobbits, as mortal men, would be aged as follows. Frodo Baggins, 30, Samwise Gamgee, 22, Meriadoc Brandybuck, 21, and Peregrine Took, 18. Being a Dunedain, Aragorn would be 37, about, as a mortal man. Boromir was man, so he would still be 41. Gimli, as a relative of Durin the First, would have been 52, as a mortal man. Legolas, as an elf, does not age past maturity unless burdened by emotions or mental issues, explaining his late 20s description. Gandalf, as a Maiar, Lesser Aenir, was conceived roughly the same time as Arda, or Earth. So this is like a glorified field trip with your best friend, dad, uncle on your dad's side, two weird family friends, and one tall and skinny. One is tall and skinny, the other short and fat. Your cousin on your mom's side, his little brother, and your grandpa. The jokes, the competition, the reprimands, and the love between one another are all subtly reflect this narrative. As swords clash and hope flickers like a candle in the dark, the smallest hand shape the world's whole destiny. The ring, seducing and corrupting, tempts its bearer unto the last breath. And yet, through friendship, sacrifice, and sheer endurance, darkness is cast down. The ring is unmade, Sauron falls, and the age of men begins anew. Some of the central themes in this thick boy of a book would be fellowship, perseverance, and love. I will now describe the many places where these take place in the novel. Fellowship is just a continuation of the trilogy's underlying theme of friendship, commitment, and the growth of many as one. What I mean by these is the friendship that holds the hobbits together and that holds the elf, the dwarf, the wizard, and the men together. All these denizens of Middle-earth who join forces and are demanded to grow together or perish alone. This commitment will become the one thing that will essentially save their world. Perseverance is also sprinkled throughout the series and shows many faces, some having to endure a run-in with wraiths or scuffing with the senile Gollum. These challenges would pull the different members of the party away from each other and also slam them together into one another as fate demanded, whether pleasurable or not. This brings me to the last theme that is really what wraps up the saga. The theme being love. The love of friends, the love of allies, and in the end, love like that of a family. When you see the final parting scene where Frodo is recovering from his journey, there waiting to muster the strength to go back again, you will see all the faces of the Fellowship, the lost and the living, rush through that door in Rivendell one at a time, hugging their battered and bruised paladin. In the end, the Return of the King stands as a testament to the extraordinary power found in the ordinary. It is not the might of armies or the wisdom of kings that ultimately triumphs over darkness, but the unwavering loyalty of a simple friendship, the quiet strength of perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds, and the profound bonds of love that tie individuals together. Through the unlikely heroism of hobbits and the sacrifices made across Middle-earth, Tolkien reveals that even in the darkest of times, hope endures. Destiny can be shaped by the most unassuming hands, and the truest magic lies not in power, but in connection.